Really.
No,
And I'm sorry about,
He did not ask for a motion, he asked the procedure.
yeah, procedure, but
And I was referring to the procedures in our bylaws about contract labor. So I was explaining to him, he had a question and I tried to answer it the best of my knowledge according to the bylaws. Please, Pam.
It's status quo. We've got to make changes for this community. That's what it is. And I think it's important that you all think we are legally responsible for all of this. It comes back to us. And the right decision for us right now is not to have Scott representing us and the city. And I've done my research. I've read all the bylaws. I know what's required of us. And you are questioning. We were told last time at the last meeting that we weren't competent enough to run this commission and do the banking and the checking. And I disagree with that. All of us have the competency to make good decisions. And if we don't change things in this community, it's going to stay status quo and we're all going to be in the same boat again.
I have to say this. Nobody said that you all were incompetent. Nobody. Anyone who says that you all were told you're incompetent is not being truthful. Now that did not happen. And if any of you all remember that happening, say it right now, but that did not happen. And I've heard a lot of y'all talk about the bylaws. Do you know who wrote y'all's bylaws? I did.
I'm talking about the state bylaws.
They're not bylaws or statutes. But anyway, back to it. Nobody, that is just false. You may have misheard something, but nobody ever told you all that you were incompetent. I was in that meeting. The mayor was in that meeting. All of y'all were in that meeting. If you heard that, I did not.
You question our ability.
Did I ever use the word incompetent? Never.
Let's stay on the.
You question our ability to.
I did not.
Yes, you did.
I did not use the word incompetent. That is factually incorrect.
Now, the question is, is there, if you're vetting someone, is there any questions that you want to ask the gentleman that's here regarding legal representation or anything along those lines? If you were talking about compensation, if this is somebody that we even want to bring to a vote on.
Question is, how did those gentlemen know that we was having a tourism meeting, and did you just wander in here off the street or passing through, or?
It's clear you guys want to hire Mr. Ridge. Just get it over with. It's okay.
Well, that's what I'm asking.
Everybody in the room knows you're going to hire him.
He had to be notified.
It's a worst kept secret here. Everybody knows you're going to just hire him. Let's go home.
Please, yes.
I don't think there was no preconceived idea that somebody new was getting hired here tonight.
So you just showed up.
I was made aware that there was a gentleman that had a plethora of experience specific to this, that we might be able to ask questions of and everything else. That's why I brought it up and I asked him to,
So him acting as legal counsel was discussed with him outside of the meeting.
no.
Well, then how did he know to be here? Make up whatever answer you guys want to.
it's not on Facebook.
Yeah. It's not been posted anywhere, so somebody had to say, hey, you want to be legal counsel for the tourism commission. Somebody had to contact him and tell him to be here.
Yeah, he's smiling.
He didn't just, I think I'll go show up at random meetings and maybe I'll be tourism attorney somewhere. Somebody contacted me outside the open meeting and said, hey, come to the meeting, we're gonna get rid of Scott. We'll put you on as tourism.
I don't think any decision was being made here this evening to hire hire new legal counsel.
There was a motion being made before I interrupted.
Sure
Not
was.
to speak.
Because Tommy said you were asking those permission before
There was a
hiring.
motion and a second.
You can't whitewash everything.
There was not a motion given, there was
Hit
discussion.
rewind there.
Mitchell, roll back the film.
My recollection on that was Eric asked a question to him on how they would do it.
I heard
And Hondo was answering Eric's question, there would have to be a motion.
And that's when he spoke up.
They made the
That's
motion and
exactly-
There wasn't a motion made.
I said you might want to put the page in the motion.
Like I said, you guys are, we know where you're at with this.
So is there, what is the pleasure of the board moving forward?
I'll step out of this.
Just like I said, in my opinion, again, like, you know, I would like to see multiple applicants, do my own research before we make a decision on. I feel like as being the only member that's been here more than 3 months, legal counsel is very important in this position because, like I said, I work at a bank. I don't do tourism. I don't do laws. I don't do any of that stuff. So, like I said, being liable for what we do on this board, that probably the most important position besides the director, which we don't have. It's the biggest resource that we do have moving forward. Because, like I said, there is so much that we can and can't do, and we have to be judicious about how we go about doing that. And like I said, I will, say the way things are done is probably not the way they should be done moving forward. And but like I said, you don't just make change for the sake of change. And when you do make change, you need to do it the right way. That way, all these people here do, trust us with their $450,000 a year that they pay us and such as that. So that's all.
So what is the opinion of the commission that we ought to post a position for that, or what we want to do as a commission? Yes, go ahead.
We certainly need to seek legal counsel. But I think that, I would agree that needs to be vetted. People can do, their own individual research. We can, talk as a board, as a commission. But, we're certainly, by our own vote, we're currently without legal counsel, so we need to, that needs to be something that happens that we discuss, and vet out, different options.
For the amount of time that if we're going to be vetting that out long-term, do you think it wise to have temporary counsel until, that way, because we're going to be having an educational meeting here on the 5th, to be able to give us temporary counsel until we can get a vet out a firm attorney or whatever the.
Let's call to make the motion.
I can speak.
Please.
Like I said, I think, like I said, big decisions are being made, that's perfectly fine. If we are having this training on the 5th, I feel like there's not a whole lot going on between now and the 5th. I think we should hold off on doing anything until we have that training. Everybody gets some background knowledge of what this position is, what we need to do moving forward, and then kind of go from there. And like I said, in that meantime, we can get some names. We can, do our own research as far as attorneys that could provide us legal counsel. Maybe pull some names and have those together on the 5th, and then, after that, maybe at our next normal meeting, we can have, make that decision. But like I said, I don't think we need to be making any large decisions till that training, if it's like I said, it's 2 weeks away now, so, But I think that would be my suggestion, is wait till everybody kind of gets a little background info on what we should be doing.
Just so you know, this is not the only tourism meetings that I go to. I go to Powell County, I go to all of them, from all around, because my business is directly affected by tourism. And this is the only tourism meeting that I've ever been to, Stanton Tourism, that has a lawyer in the room with them. I don't even think Powell County has a lawyer that they use, to my knowledge. Unless an issue comes up, then they get one. You know, and it's a contract labor by the hour. They don't sit in every single meeting and tell you what you can and can't do. You know, they wait until they're asked for their opinion. And that's at every meeting I've ever been to. So don't feel rushed to make a decision tonight. It's my only point there. Because I don't think you have to have one at every single meeting.
Maybe we should table this until Thursday. I think that's our best option right now.
Okay. Well, please, Jason.
I think that there's a lot of, sorry, hey, Chad,
We're here.
how are you? Hi, everybody. I think there's a lot of really important decisions that need to be made, long-term, and I think in the meantime, our city is suffering because there is no one representing Stanton. And while obviously no one knows what's going on with the legal side, or, you know, we're trying to figure out how to do this job, which is such an important thing. And as someone who was the director of a previous board, I appreciate you all searching the truth, and I appreciate you all trying to figure out how to do your jobs correctly, because that will make the next director's job way easier whenever the board knows what is going on. But I will say that I have a marketing firm, Nolan Marketing Management, and I offer social media management, I offer website management, and I offer advertising buying. All of those things are things that I have an extensive background in. And if you've been around for the last year, you can kind of see some of the things that I have done. But I think as far as there is tourism dollars sitting in the bank that these people, whether they live here or they visit here, they are paying because these businesses want representation. And I'm more than happy to offer my services, and I would just like to take this time to offer up my services as contract labor to be your marketing director. I have outlined a description of what that may look like, and I'm more than happy to share that with you all if anyone's interested in that.
You have it with you?
Yeah, I have it on my phone. Hold on. This position would be for the marketing director. Marketing director of the Tourism Commission would provide monthly updates in writing, and at the request of the commission would attend meetings to assure the commission's wishes are carried out regarding the marketing efforts. The director would be responsible for social media management, website management, and advertising purchasing as discussed and approved through the commission's budget. The marketing director will act as an industry advisor to the commission board and work to create, distribute, and delegate marketing materials and campaigns, such as merchandising and rank cards and etc. This contract position will be an at-need position. My current rate with my firm is $50 an hour. The director will calculate and spend the time, but will be gauged by the commission and approved by the chairman. The marketing director will work directly under the supervision of the executive officers like the chairman, vice chairman, and treasurer. Per market standards, that rate is way less than what you're going to find if you reach out to a marketing firm somewhere else. I don't want to get rich off this, but I want to help. I understand this would take much less research for me to do as it would someone else, which is why I'm offering it at this rate, because I know this job, I know this industry, I understand what needs to be done to make these things happen. And I think personally, for the tourism board, it would be a good PR move to get some stuff going that is positive out in the community, and with someone who loves the community and is knowledgeable and has a good reputation for making these things happen. So I would just like to offer those services if anyone is interested in that.
Any thoughts about that? Yes,
I
please.
agree, it's time for us to do something. We put things on hold as long as we should have. Chelsea knows the job, she knows the community, she knows the board. And, I'm gonna make the motion that we accept Chelsea on the contract labor for a marketing director until we get on our feet and know more about what we're supposed to do. But we need something being done now.
We got a motion on the floor for, to accept Chelsea Nolan as a marketing director for our board.
Can we discuss?
Yeah, that would happen after the second we discuss, which we can go ahead and discuss now if you want to, please.
Yeah, before I could make a second or whatever. So this, and we're asking for somebody to do contract marketing, essentially.
Yeah, evidently what she's offering is being able to do contract marketing with, while we're trying to, as a board, get on our feet and make decisions on where we're going, budgeting, things like that, that we're actually utilizing someone to market Stanton.
Understood. Okay, and that's something I know we had discussed several meetings ago, that was something that we certainly wanted to do, needed to do. I guess my opinion is this may doing something like this could potentially buy us some time for the tourism director, or maybe this is a different role altogether.
She wishes to speak. Yes, please.
I would also like to say that this would require approval of additional expenditures through the advertising dollars that are approved ahead of time. So whenever these like television ad packages or something comes up, it doesn't require me waiting a month to get to a meeting to secure those packages, because oftentimes those are on a time restraint. But I just wanted to add that.
What would you think a reasonable amount would be to start a marketing campaign, getting off the ground with where we're at right now?
And Miranda could second this. The state really pushes that majority of your budget is for advertising. And a lot of times people don't see that, because I'm not going to see a television ad that is in Cincinnati. I'm not going to see targeted ads for rock climbers, because I'm not a rock climber. But I think that right now it would be overkill, for December and maybe for January, because there's a lot that needs to be done. There's a lot of work that needs to be done to kind of lay the groundwork again, because it's not been touched for like a year. But I think it would be safe, and I've thought about it a lot, to approve up to 10, I would say 10 grand a month, but I would go a year out, like to the end of the fiscal year at least, however many months that is. But I would say 10 grand a month will get you more than what you need for television, print, rack cards, radio, merchandising to hand out at different events. There's a lot of different pieces of that, but I would say outside of my rate to approve up to 10 grand a month. And that's not money that goes to me. That is money that will go to other places, because you want to create top of mind awareness. You don't want to only promote Stanton when there's something going on. You want to promote Stanton because Carol has fantastic things at her business, and people aren't going to know about it unless they know about Stanton. They're not going to know about my mom's flower shop. They're not going to know about Tropical Tans. They're not going to know about all these places unless we tell them about it. And I would suggest that I can do more, I can do less, but that, I've thought a lot about it, and that would be my suggestion.
How would you report that, back to us? So, I mean, we all night long, we've been discussing expenditures and visibility and transparency and everything else. So how would you, what would be the process for, I guess you to, come into a meeting like this and just report on what you've, your marketing campaigns, what you've done, where you've allocated you have, a budget and a report? Is that?
Yeah, honestly, however you all wanted it to happen, David can vouch that I like to communicate, and I like people to know what is going on, and I'm more than happy, and I would love to have, if this was secured, have everyone's emails to get everybody updated, to just, kind of, if there's something that you're wondering about, like, just ask me and I'll answer, and to let you know whenever we've secured a cool TV spot, or when we've secured new rack cards, or I think that it would be most appropriate if I sent every month to Donna or the chair, or everyone would get it, really, a monthly update on what was spent, how it was spent, where it is going. I'm really transparent in the work that I do, because this is not my money, and it's not your money, it's our money, it's all of our money. If we've ever eaten a burger or drank a fall beer, it's our money. And I'm happy to come to the meetings. As a contract labor employee, I wouldn't think you would want me at all of the meetings, but I'm happy to come to the meetings that you all would want me at. Otherwise, there would just be really open communication on what's going on, and our successes and our failures and our drawbacks, and where I think that we could build.
And I will vouch for Chelsea. She's very thorough in her reporting. Like I said, as director or board member while she was director, every month we did have, our annual or monthly statements from what she'd been doing, how we were improving things, where she needed, help at as well. So I would definitely vouch for her expertise in that.
Yes, please.
Since you have the floor, you mentioned you are the one person here that's been here a while. I mean, where do you stand on that? I mean, as far as us doing something now?
Like I said, I don't want to sound hypocritical as far as, not vetting and all that, but like I said, I do, as being a former member with Chelsea, I do know, the work that she does, and I also am on the point of, we've spent 5 months spinning our wheels and doing next to nothing as far as, like I said, behind the scenes, yes, stuff's moving, we're trying to find the direction this board's going, but like she said, as far as the community goes, nothing's getting done on the tourism side. Yeah, like I said, Parks and Rec is, they're still chugging along doing their stuff, but as far as the tourism side, we haven't had an event. We haven't really gave out a grant. We gave out some money here and there, but except we've been spinning our wheels, and I understand it's necessary. That's what happened, but we got to start doing something soon. Or, like I said, there's going to be a lot more people at these meetings, and they're going to be a lot angrier than these people.
To be in favor of doing something.
Yeah, I mean, I would want to work out the detail, and I know Chelsea's very thorough, and I don't think she's going to, give us a terrible deal. So, except that, I'm not against it for sure.
Please, yes.
I didn't know Chelsea was gonna be here, so this is completely not aligned at all, but I did serve over 4 years for the county tourism, so I can also attest to you guys that, your KACDB, your KTIA, the two major authorities that will align you with, tourism findings for the state, will tell you that 30 to 40% of your budget should be allotted to advertising. And advertising comes in many different forms, and the characterization of that. And what Chelsea presented to you guys based on just some quick numbers, based on the 433 annually, she'd be looking about with her 10,000 a month, that's 27.7%. So you're still falling just with her marketing numbers. You're still falling below the 30%. And it's obviously recommended that you fall heavier towards the 40%, but that's just from when I was with the commission. I can attest to her numbers are correct, and I can also attest to her work. And it was recognized at state level at the amount of work she was doing for this little town. And we were kind of on opposite ends of the spectrum, if you guys know the history of that. So just for what it's worth.
believe with with Chelsea's knowledge and some testament to her ability here tonight, I believe we need to start spending this money. Like, as David said, we're 5 months in, four or 5 months in, depending on when you started on the board. But there's got to be some stuff here that says come to Stanton. And at the end of the day, we need to stimulate this county, and that's what we I think. Long term, short term, whatever, we've got to start spending some money.
Is there any action that we want to take tonight?
So there's
I made the motion that we accept it.
Okay, so we have a motion on the floor to accept Chelsea Nolan as our advertising marketing director with a budget of, if I'm not mistaken, $10,000 a year, or a month, excuse me?
Not for my pay,
Right.
just for an additional advertising expenditure to spend, yes.
And at the $50 hourly rate that is contract labor.
That's Chelsea.
Mhm.
Is that, what about our social media stuff? Is that going to involve any of that?
Yeah, I would manage your social media accounts, I would manage your website, those things that I was doing. I would take care of the advertising buying and just industry advisory role for you guys, so.
So do we have a second for that? David, second. Any other discussion on the motion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Or, we need to do it by roll call, please, if you don't mind.
yes.
Commissioner
Yes.
Commissioner Johnson, second, and Commissioner Rose.
Yes.
Thank you, Liz.
Motion passes. Okay. So let's, for the sake of time, the grant for the Jeep application.
Chrissy said that she had to leave, but would like to be on the agenda for next time.
Okay.
Yes, she had to go to her son's festival.
Okay. And we need a report on the special purpose government entity filing status. If you'll look at the packet that's given here, you'll find City of Stanton Tourism and Convention SPG filing reports. We're in arrears for the 2023 budget yearly in accrual of 88 days, budget estimates of 180 or 128 days, registration fee 128 days late, registration for 2024 128 days late, and 2023 budget amendment 143 days late. Is the mayor out there?
Yeah, I think so.
Yes, sir.
Did you hear, is Teresa going to be filing any of these on our behalf, these SPGs?
It's the first non-budget, so
Okay.
have we done it now?
I-
Yeah. Well, I assume then we, if it's done in the past, we'll probably continue doing it.
Okay, good. And I'll give that to you to be able to keep there. So the last thing here we need to talk about, the new office space that we have down at the depot. What do we have in mind for what we want to do in there? Do we want to set up a space for Chelsea to be able to work out of tentatively, or what do we have in mind for this office space that we've secured down at the depot?
You need an office space.
No. I mean, I wouldn't mind to use one just as like a stopping point if I needed to meet with like someone out of TV or like something like that. Otherwise, I have an office set up at my home for this, but I would absolutely welcome that as a stopping ground for meetings.
Okay. Any ideas of what we want to do with the office space?
Does Donna need a space there?
Do you need to utilize it for any of the actions that you do?
It would be possible. I think in the last meeting it was discussed that we needed a place to unpack some advertising stuff. We have some T-shirts, we have stuff like that. We need to have a presence, and so of course with that presence you're gonna have to have someone to come in and a little bit. You're gonna have some sort of office hours or something. I don't know, at what point that will happen, but from what Commissioner Briggs has said was there was a lot of stuff here at the city that needed to be kind of unpacked and put out there. And I don't know.
Everything in this building.
Okay, and I don't know. Chelsea might have an idea of what that is. I don't know.
For what exactly?
It's stuff that
Stuff with the guys.
maybe was in the office or something.
I didn't move those things.
Everything that was in your office. is
Yeah.
in there.
Oh, okay.
The
So that's
tourism,
like T-shirts and
T-shirts,
brochures,
sweatshirts.
racks, maybe. I don't know.
the tourism actually owns
Yeah,
the
that
building.
building.
They own the building.
Blankets.
Okay.
The
Right.
city owns the one and the tourism bought the other. So that's the tourism storage.
Do we know what happened to the furniture and furnishings and stuff?
It's in there.
It's all, so I mean, we probably need to do an inventory, see what we got, and then that way, there might be a lot of stuff that, because I mean, Chelsea had it really nice in the tourism office before we moved that one, so, and I know it's not the same type of space, but, I mean, obviously we need to use the stuff we already had before we.
And I will mention, that it was discussed with Mr. Dawson about signage.
Okay.
I think maybe you had a question.
Briggs did.
Briggs, okay. And he said it just needed to be approved, that they weren't against signage, but they just don't want something crazy, out by their building, but, most definitely it could go before them and they would approve. Because they would want people to know we were there.
Mr. Hart, the sign that Donna, Ms. Webb's talking about, if you all want to use the same sign that was at the former tourism place beside the Crabtree's Candy, it is at the drive-in in the second or first bay. It's a brand new sign that says Stanton Tourism on it and got the phone number and that we had purchased. So it's at the drive-in.
Please just.
This is kind of minuscule, but before I forget, in all of that stuff somewhere, there's a jump drive, and it should be in a little plastic bag, and it's full of photos. I had paid we paid Logan Briscoe to come and take pictures of the Christmas lights at the end of the year. Last year when there was snow on the ground, and I would really like to have access to those photos so I can use them because they were great. So whoever digs through all that, find a flash drive. Sorry, let me know.
Can I able to find that with Logan still have copies of those?
I'm not sure. I haven't reached out to him. I wasn't sure what all was going to happen tonight. So I'm more than happy to reach out to him and see if he has those too.
So we're past by 9 o'clock. Let's go ahead. We've got a special call meeting, which we may we'll take a vote for that. I know we agreed on it by email for December the 5th at 6:30 for educational instruction from the League of Cities. Do we want to, where do we want to have that meeting at? Do we want to have that here, or do we want to have it in our office? What would be best in this case?
Do you know what kind of, if they're gonna need any tech or computers, screens, anything like that, or?
I would make a recommendation on that.
Yes, please.
I would totally recommend you all have a training like that at the EOC building. They've got computer screen set up, they've got table set up in an instructor fashion, and it won't be disruptive because that whole entire space is specifically designed for things like that. So I would 100% recommend EOC. It's a great building.
Yeah.
It's a great space for stuff like that. We have meetings there. It's really good for trainings.
Is that available to us?
You have to schedule it with Kevin Babcock, who's the CSEP director. There's a calendar they keep, but it's open to anybody.
Let's try that route first.
And I mean, maybe we should make this vote and have backup plans here or whatever, if that not stay, because we've already scheduled it, so
Sure.
we've got to do it, but if they're not available, then maybe we have this as a backup plan.
Okay, so we'd like to have it here and not in your office, correct?
Yeah, well, like I said,
I don't think our office will be ready 2 weeks.
yeah.
Yeah, in case we do need
Great.
some kind of help.
All right, so I'll speak with Mr. Babcock about that building. And Chad, thank you for that recommendation. And we'll post that, whether it be here or there, so that everyone will be informed. And some of this other information that was on the new business will table until another time, with the reviewing of tourism tax findings, review of restaurant tax findings, things of that nature. And then we'll, yes, please.
I know it's getting late, but I do have a few things I think we need to get voted on. I did speak with Ms. Hayden at the high school about getting out the brochures. She said they have 7 kids in FBLA. They're going on different trips. They just got back from a trip. But she said they would be more than willing to do it. Said that she threw out the number $1,000 to $500, maybe if it was an annual thing. Not only just passing them out, but those students would also go back monthly to those businesses, see if those brochures are gone, replenish them, pretty much just take care of it for us. And like I said, we had kind of discussed maybe it being an annual type deal. We do make a donation to their group for their annual trip. So like I said, if there's any discussion on that before, I know for actually to get that money out, we have to.
Well, let me ask you this: since we've hired a marketing individual, do you think it wise for her to be kind of the face of going out and doing these things for our tourism, or do you think going that route would be the wisest in this case?
This is just putting the brochures out, so.
Here or where?
Yeah, the local.
I mean, I can see the benefit of either avenue of that. I'd be more than willing to do it. I'm a big proponent of getting as many people involved as you can too. So I don't know. I'm no help with that.
Yeah.
I'm willing to do either.
What's the requirements of that? I mean, how often is that somebody needing to check that, replenish that? How many different stops are we talking about?
Do you know, Chelsea? Right offhand?
No, I don't know off of my head.
I know we have thousands of them, so, but we do go through a lot, but
But you don't, just a rough idea of how many different locations.
10 to 12, I would think, somewhere in there. And like I said, I do think that amount is a little high, as if it was contract labor, but like I said, more of a donation, pretty much.
$1,000 a year.
Yeah.
So I think it'd be wise for us to, you know, in the principles here of trying to promote, you know, these young leaders to go out and talk to people, and even by handing out brochures, they're getting experience there to talk to leaders in our community and also have that sort of sense of business. I think $1,000 is a small price to pay for the experience that will teach them later down the road as they go for a job. So I'm gonna make the motion that we take that, accept that $1,000, and we pass that along to them so they can get the benefit of that.
We have a motion by Ben for $1,000 for distribution of the leaflets. Is there a second? Pam seconds. Any other discussion?
Just so that's $1,000 donation to FBLA.
Yes.
Okay. Good.
Okay. In this case, we'll go ahead and just, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion passed. As
We
please.
got one more thing as well. As y'all know, I've worked on the ARPA grant that we discussed earlier with the local, the other nearby tourism groups. We did secure a $250,000 grant that we have put into place now. We have a contract with a company out of Louisville, QK4. It's a wayfinding signage program. We have signed that contract with them. There's a plan in place. We're having a meeting. He sent all of us an email today with the proposed locations for signs in Powell, Wolf, Lee, and Estill counties. Kind of pointing, not just, you know, the gorge is our tourist spot. They're trying to kind of push people out into our counties, which I think for us is a huge thing, as you know, being kind of the center of commerce in this county, but not being the tourist location. So I think it's really important. But what I'm bringing to you now is another $1 million has came up available from these are COVID funds that are still out there. But that $1 million is for the whole state. And we can apply up to up to $500,000, and that's what we're going to apply for. But with just $1 million available, I don't think there's anywhere we can get that much money. But we're going to try for that, and if we get $100,000, $250,000 like we did last time, that would be great. The only thing is, and the only action we need from our group is we do match 10% of those funds. Last time for the $250,000, I think we ended up, Estill County kind of came in late, kind of saved us because you do have to have 5 groups, and Clay City wasn't eligible and had to back out at the last minute, so we placed them with Estill, so they didn't pay. We paid $7,300 or something like that. I just need permission from you all to be able to present those matching funds if we do up to an amount. Like I said, I think last time we approved up to $15,000, we only paid $7,000. But like I said, with that $7,000, we got a $250,000 grant. So I think it's really important. And the good thing is, the $250,000 grant that we got, we have a complete plan of signage, and they're actually putting, I think, 8 to 10 signs in the ground. Anything we get additional to this is going straight to signs in our communities, you know, the 5 communities around here. And it's not just that, the funds we match from Wolf County, Lee County, the county, Powell County will also match funds as well. And maybe Estill County, I don't know if they're going to this, like I said, they didn't last time because they came in late, and kind of just saved the whole deal. But my figure, the last time we did 15, I don't think we'll need to do that much. I would ask for up to $10,000 of matching funds for that grant, if we were to get it.
Up to $10,000 for the matching grant?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's the request. Is there any other questions for him about that?
And like I said, I think just the gist of it is very important for just our city entity, because like I said, it is trying to take that central tourist location and get our people out into the surrounding community. So like I said, I think it really hits home with us, and it's kind of why we're the lead of that grant right now as well.
Any action you want to take on that?
I make the motion that we accept the proposal for, letting David, continue on with this, grant process
Up to $10,000,
for
correct?
$10,000.
And I will say, the application is due December 1st. And we should hear something shortly after that about how much we're going to get. So, and as soon as I know, I'll report back to you all.
Is there a second on that motion?
I'll second.
Commissioner Rose seconded. Any other discussion?
If you were to get $250,000 again, where would the, I mean, I guess the 10% match has to happen, where would the other funds come from?
The other tourism groups are also,
Okay.
like I said, we have to, it's 10% is what it is of the matching fund. So, like I said, if we got 250, 5 ways, that would only be 5. So the 10,000 is more than we should take.
I got you. Understood. Yeah, perfect.
Yes, please.
Hey, is RN still involved in that? The economic development resort proposition? Because when I was still involved in that grant process, they were willing to give money if nobody else would do matching funds for it.
And I think actually, Menifee County has some money that they're not even a part of it because they don't have the tourism board, but they were offering to, we already had enough last time, but if they still had the money, they could throw in some. So like I said, I don't think we'll have to pay more than our share this time, but just in case they have enough.
Mr. Hunter, I just want to throw in, I want to thank the Kiwanis for feeding us the entire week, for putting up the lights, the garland and everything. They brought out food. Kayla Carroll did. She brought out food, L8s, and when we had a couple other people that brought out things. And like you said, so if you see the Kiwanis, give them a shout out because they did a lot. They actually brought it for the inmates. There was, I think, 8 of us total, and they made sure for the 5 days that there was food and, like you said, drinks for that week. So the Kiwanis were involved heavily.
So we've got a motion and a second. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, like sign. Motion carries unanimously. All right, anything else? Ms. Chelsea?
When do I gain access to the Facebook and socials, and when would that happen?
I'm assuming that, I'm speaking for the group, that would be as soon as possible.
Well, I'll let you all work that out, but I'll need the passwords to the website and whoever's an admin on the Facebook page to make me an admin too.
You know about that, Dave?
None of us do.
I think Mike is,
Yeah, Mike has some.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They never let me have a business.
Can you reach out to Mike and get that taken care of? Thank you. Thank you. Yes.
Quickly, free advice on the Facebook page, always at least have 2 admins. Never leave just a single admin on there. If Mike gets locked out of his account or something like that, you've lost your Facebook page.
Learn that hard.
Yes. Free advice, take it how you want to.
2-factor authentication.
2-factor on anybody with access to that. You can ask the Skylift what happens when you don't have 2-factor.
Yeah, 2-factor. Everybody on everything that we have.
Anything else? Motion to adjourn.
Could I just say real quick, end on a positive note? Happy Thanksgiving to everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll see.